Greetings, brothers and sisters, men and women all around the world. Welcome to another episode of Clearing the Smoke. I'm your brother Fiji, and today we have a very important topic that we're going to be dealing with. And the topic that we're going to be addressing today, it concerns a serious situation that's going on inside of the United States prison system. Take a look at this.
9 individuals are being charged in connection to decedent 3 and decedent 4.
A Dodge County criminal complaint details the death of 2 inmates at the Waupun Correctional Facility. 62-year-old Donald Meyer's death ruled a homicide.
Correctional officers did make some notifications to supervisory staff. However, supervisors made no attempt to further investigate the condition of the decedent or his well-being.
The document alleges after Meyer flooded his cell, several employees turned his water on and off without documenting it or communicating with one another. During what officials called a hunger strike, no one intervened.
Security staff notified nursing staff that the decedent had not eaten food for a couple of days, was drinking sewage water, and played in the toilet.
Meyer missed 8 out of 12 meals within a 4-day period. His cause of death, malnutrition and dehydration. 24-year-old Cameron Williams was showing signs of medical distress.
Laying on a bed with no response or movement during a medical pass. That was passed on to the next shift regarding strange behavior and labored breathing, but no action was taken.
The complaint alleges the man had medical incidents often, so the symptoms he was experiencing weren't concerning to staff. Williams had a stroke and died days later.
The incoming nurse, without visiting the decedent's cell, determined that there was no medical need to make entry into the cell of the decedent. He was dead in his cell for over 12 hours until they located him the next morning.
Sheriff Schmidt said he could reopen the investigation into more criminal charges. That's only if the internal state probe reveals additional evidence. Otherwise, the case is closed. In Waupun, Shana Najawan, WMTV 15 News.
This is sad, and I'm saying it's sad because this is not only happening in Waupun. This is happening all over the United States of America, where our loved ones are being locked inside of prison cells and being totally neglected, being purposely abused, being killed, being everything inside of the system. And I would like to take a reading, and I'm going to take this reading from the blueprint. If you're dealing with the Rod Emory version of it, it's going to be on page 37. But if you have the blueprint of a new concept, it's going to be on page 34. And I'm going to start with, who is the enemy? Anyone who supports or condones the systematic warehousing and destruction of our peoples is in essence an enemy. By allowing themselves to become tools of the system, these peoples perpetuate it and its inherent evils. Liberals are just as guilty as the extreme right, because by tolerating these injustices, by adjusting to society's discrimination, and by simply remaining in silence, they compromise their own integrity and allow the evils of this system to endure. Here's where I would like for us to understand. What the system have the public out here believing in is that these are animals inside of the system. I want to thank God for my loved ones, my family, for being there with me through all the hard times of me being in prison all those many years. My family has always stood by me. And I say this because there are many men who are inside of those prisons and women who are inside of the prisons whose loved ones have totally neglected them, have totally forgotten about them. And this is sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's because it's our people in our community that's participating, some unknowingly and many knowingly, with helping passing laws that locks our loved ones inside of prison cells. And when they get inside of prison cells, that's when the very peoples that's working there, that's supposed to be there for their well-being, these are the very peoples who are abusing them, killing them, writing false tickets and write-ups and everything on them, beating them down inside these cells. And then you all wonder why it is necessary for us to organize in the prisons in order to protect ourselves. You all wonder about this here. Then the first thing that you all, the peoples out here in society would say is that there's those gang members in there. Do you all understand that the reason why a lot of this is going on is to protect each other inside of that system, to make sure that ones understand that you cannot put your hands or you can't do nothing to one of us in there? That is the reason why. So we pass our numbers and our phone numbers out dealing with our loved ones to our friends in there, because if something happened to us, we want our loved ones to be able to know what happened to us inside of those prison cells. It's the same thing that's going on in Mississippi. It's going on in Illinois. It's going on in Oklahoma. It's going on in Arkansas. It's going on in Georgia. It's going on in South Carolina. It's going on in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It's going on in Wisconsin and in Michigan. It's going on all over the system. The wardens know, but we do not pay attention to what's going on because society has deemed us sociopath and psychopath. Look at those men who are sitting up in ADX Florence, Colorado. You have many of them up there have been up there over 25, 26, 27 years. Some of them have been up there since the day that the prison has opened, and they are living in isolation. Officers are putting enemies out on the yard with each other so that these people can attack each other. This is what's going on inside of the United States prison industrial complex. This is what's happening. And I'm telling you all these things because I was one who was once in that system. So I know how that system operates. We have to do a better job with staying in touch with our loved ones. We have to do a better job with getting the word out, or getting the word on what's going on in that system. Those of us who have been in the system, it's our responsibility to tell what's going on in the system. A lot of times when we get out of the system, what we want to do, we just want to get away from it totally. We don't want to have nothing else to do with it because our time is up and it's over with. But I try my best to always reflect and to let people know what's going on in that system. You have some good men and good women in there. Yes, there are those in there who have did some horrendous crimes, and in society, some people's society say that they should be there. But once you put them in that system, society then becomes responsible for them. So when I was placed inside the prison system, United States prison industrial complex system, then that means you all, society, became responsible for me. People are paying over $30-some thousand a year just to house a prisoner. And with that $30-some thousand, it is not going towards the prisoners. You can look at the food that's being fed. You can look at the people that's being locked away in their cells. It is a mess in there. It is the belly of the beast. And it is time for us to pay more attention to what's going on. All these groups out here that's dealing with prisons, we need to stand up and voice our issue, our concern, our support behind it. Once again, what happened over in Wisconsin is just a tip of the iceberg. And how long are we going to continue to allow this to go on? And on that note, I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.